I'm Achievement Coach Greg Kilgore. We're broadcasting live today from Serenity Now Yoga and Dance Studio in Longwood, Florida. With me today is holistic nutrition consultant Lucy Del Campo, and we are focused today on the issue of obesity in our communities and how can families lose weight. Straight up, I want to lose weight, I want to keep the weight off, and as a parent, I'm concerned not just for me, I'm also concerned for my children. So Lucy, thank you for having a conversation with me today. And I would love to hear from you. Do you have any creative suggestions and ideas how, as a family together, we can lose weight?
Yeah, of course, definitely. I have a lot of great suggestions. But I think the first thing to realize is to change an entire paradigm of our food system. So what we have to remember that what companies and corporations are trying to market to us and sell us is really not what we should be eating. So if a mom goes out to the grocery store and she thinks she's buying all these healthy foods and she's frustrated that her kid isn't eating it, then she has to backtrack, and she has to get a little bit more educated on what she really needs to buy to make these changes happen. Okay, so we're going to talk about whole foods.
Okay, so let me just say, so as a parent, what I'm hearing there is that, before I get my kids involved, right, because I want us to all do it together, so it's not just me as a parent, purchasing the food and trying to, shove it at my kid. Eat this so you can lose weight. Eat this to be healthy. Instead of taking that approach as a parent, first thing I need to do is get educated.
Yeah.
I need to understand that what's easily being marketed to me is not necessarily good for me and probably not good for me. So what should I do rather than just buy what's easy, buy what's handy? I should go for whole foods, you said.
Yes. Okay. Now, this is what whole foods are. This is what you have to focus on. Real fresh cuts of meat, bones. If you get meat on the bone, that's excellent. You want, of course, fruits and vegetables. Everybody's probably heard that so much. Fruits and vegetables. 7 to 9 servings a day, which is a lot. Okay?
7 to 9 servings of whole foods or fruits and vegetables in
particular? Of
fruits
and vegetables.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what's a serving for me?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay.
Is that a serving?
Yeah, it fits in the palm of your hand, and it's an appropriate gauge because a child has a smaller hand. A child's not going to eat so much.
Okay, great.
Nuts and seeds, eggs. Okay, now grains can be tricky because a lot of times whole wheat is not very good for you.
Just not real. Just because it has the word whole in the name doesn't mean it's a whole food. So what does a whole food mean?
Okay, a whole food means that it's a food in its form of how it's come from the earth. So
like a banana, came out of a banana. It shows up in a banana peel, you're going to eat it out of the banana peel.
Yeah, exactly. Now, some whole foods are processed. Like peanuts are a whole food because they come out of the shell like that. And then they're processed to make peanut butter and almond butter. So that's okay. That's not a refined thing. But we want to focus on foods that are in its natural state. So you want whole grain brown rice and you want quinoa. Okay, white rice is refined. So, it doesn't come like that off the rice field. So that's what you need to focus on.
Okay, great. So, you and I have talked about this kind of thing before. Where we partner on a lot of projects together, and I've got the benefit of some conversation about this from the past. So I just want to say that, one of the things that you suggested to me is that as I'm changing my buying habits, like I'm buying less refined food and I'm buying more of the whole foods style foods. For example, like you said, I don't buy white rice anymore. I buy quinoa or I buy whole grain brown rice.
Awesome.
Okay, right? So that's still packaged, but that's the better version of what I was buying before. Yeah. I want to mention that I know that your philosophy is, it's not like you've suggested I go out and I do something radical. Like all of a sudden I just start eating, all of the clean, homegrown, grass in my backyard and start, using all these funky, sea salts from another country.
Growing your own mushrooms.
Yeah, right. That's a whole other video. We'll talk about that another time. But, you suggest, replacing the things on my shopping list that are just inherently processed, supposedly supposed to be easy for me, but probably really bad for me, and replace those with whole foods and just start over time, like you said, going from meat on the bone rather than, the meat that's been partly processed that's not on the bone anymore.
Right, you don't want that.
Right.
And here's the thing. Now, that principle is the cornerstone of losing weight, because what's happening here is that your body's going to start to take in what nature intended for your body to eat. These are the raw materials that was put on our God-given earth, and this is what our kids need.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So I got it. So I'm first I get educated as a parent, and then I transition into I'm buying more whole foods rather than all the stuff that we've gotten used to and that's been sold to us to kind of get us hooked on it with all the sugar and all the salt and all the refinement and all the processing.
Yeah, all chemical additives,
the
flavorings,
additives,
colorings, and it can get complicated, which is why it's good to visit a nutritionist, because then we're talking about quality of foods. And unfortunately, a lot of what you buy in the supermarket is not the best quality. So we want to look for farmers markets. If you can get raw milk, oh, it's fantastic. I recommend it 100%.
and I'll say
Yeah.
that, so you're my holistic nutrition consultant.
Right.
And again, one of the first things you did with me was get with me. So what are you eating? And I had to come clean, right? How much pasta and how much ice cream, and so I told you what I was eating, and you're like, okay, and so what's your shopping list? And you gave me realistic alternatives for my shopping list. It was kind of like step one for me as an individual. And your passion, your focus, and the focus on the Healthy Kids, Healthy Families page on Facebook is, let's save our kids, and we do that by saving the whole family.
Of course, but let me mention another thing to you, which is touches on biochemistry, because your blood type, which is an older blood type, shows that you do very good on meat. And for you told me, actually, I eat primarily plant-based foods, and I feel good with that. So that's that's your unique biochemistry, that the book is saying, okay, what is your blood type? O?
O positive.
O positive. Okay. O positive people usually do good. They were carnivores. They were the hunters.
I like meat. It's just over time, I was getting, kind of off the street hearsay, right? I wasn't getting a consultation like I did from you, right? So I started to wean myself off meat because, meat's supposed to be bad for me. So actually the consultation with you has loosened me up about meat.
Good.
So
good.
I am taking, I'm willing to eat more meat, but like you said, meat on the bone. I try to find the, grass-fed, free range.
Yeah, and when you buy chicken, they have a stamp approved by the Humane Society. That's very important, because when the animal has to be cared for well. Otherwise, it's stressed out. It has a lot of endotoxins, which we're getting when we eat it. They may have fear when they're slaughtered, and that's very important.
So I'm eating the better meat.
Great.
And I'm eating more meat. But so like I said,
I force-fed you liver.
and you made me liver for lunch one day, so I would try it. And it was the best liver I ever had, frankly.
It was because it was grass-fed.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it has
awesome.
When you buy it in the supermarket and it's conventionally raised, it has more of a metallic flavor. So if you can get liver from the farmer's market, if you can get your kids to eat that, and
great.
Shaving it into meatloaf to trick them is a good idea.
You mean to we don't want to trick our kids, but and run. Okay.
Bribe, trick, threaten.
No. So, all right. So again, your recommendation to improve my diet or any of your clients' diets, it's not like this dramatic, like cut all of that out or hack all of that off or immediately, I still get to eat meat, for example, right? For that matter, you kind of gave meat back to me. So I still eat a lot of beans and all the other stuff, it's good to have a balance,
Yes.
right? Okay, so the topic for today is losing weight, right? And supporting families to lose weight. And I want to help my kids to lose weight, right? I don't want to just be working on it on my own as a parent. So I got where you're coming from, that the first thing I needed to do, like I just wanted to get right to the end game here, if you will, but I had to get educated, right? So you've given me some education. So now I know better what to buy at the grocery store. And again, we can go to the Facebook page, we can get in touch with you for more, for a consultation, for more detail on how I can really change my diet and the diet, make it, specific to my child's blood type, specific to, the parent's blood type. But so let's say I've gotten some consultation from you, some good advice. What's a fun way I can include my kid and have my children involved in losing weight with me, so it's not just me doing all the work and
Okay.
dragging them along.
Yeah, well, you can play the rainbow game at the supermarket.
Okay, fine.
You can make a game out of it, because you can just be all colorful about it.
Sure,
so,
sure.
With fruits and vegetables, you have your kid pick out one or two fruits or vegetables from the rainbow, the colors.
Okay.
And, like for purple, what are they going to look for? So I guess that would be plums and eggplant. The reason for this, it's very important to eat the rainbow, because different nutrients in our different foods help our different body systems. Such as we know that carrots are good for our eyes, broccoli has anti-cancer properties, broccoli is good for almost everything. And that thing. And then you can include them in preparing a soup or stew. So have them cut up the vegetables. Have them make cute little shapes and faces. Like you can say, okay, mommy's angry. Make an angry face with the carrots and the celery,
okay.
Whatever they're cutting up. And you can also make some homemade desserts with them, which is great because, going back to the whole foods, the children can metabolize this. So that's the first thing to help them lose weight. Their body is going to be able to metabolize this. It's not going to prevent their cells from communicating with each other. Their digestive system's going to be smooth. They're going to metabolize this well. There's less toxins, and that's the first thing about weight loss. Great.
Okay, so less toxins, we're going to lose weight. So couple of notions came up for me while you were sharing. So one is, go figure that nature has it be so that if I will play with my kid at the grocery market and will choose food from all these different colors, then I'm going to take care of all the different parts of my body. Like nature has said, if you'll just go for what's yellow and purple and orange and play with all the colors in the rainbow, go figure, you'll be better off and healthier for it, right? And help you in these different ways. What I'm also hearing here is that, so first of all, include my children at the supermarket. We make it fun.
Or the farmer's market.
Or the farmer's
market.
Because
that's even better. Seasonal food.
Great.
So, if you're eating with the seasons, you're really eating according to what Earth is trying to provide for your body.
Great. So seasonal farmer's market.
Right.
I'm including my kids. Another thing that came up for me, and we talked about this a little while ago, is we don't have home ec classes anymore. We don't have, there's a piece of curriculum that I think is missing from public education anymore, where kids don't learn how to live in the world. Parents are often complaining now that kids are studying more for tests and academics than necessarily learning how to be upstanding citizens and how to live their lives. So I'm hearing is, as a parent, I naturally am including my child in what it takes to get by in the world, how to shop well, how to be at the supermarket. They get to feel like they're choosing the foods that we're going to eat.
Yeah.
They might discover they don't like green beans, but they chose it. So ideally, I would like to think if my kid chose it to try it, then they'll actually try it.
Yeah, and you can make it delicious with butter and salt. When you add butter to vegetables, there is an effect that the nutrients are more bioavailable. There's an uptake of nutrients. So not olive oil, I don't recommend that with vegetables, butter. Butter and some sea salt, it's delicious.
Okay.
Hungry, they have to be hungry. That's the second That's like the first rule. If they're not hungry, they're not going to eat it. They have to be hungry.
Okay, right.
So take those snacks from them.
Right. So, well, certainly no processed snacks, right? But I think you're, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're naturally hungrier, or you're hungrier in a more natural way when you're eating foods that are better for you. You know, so like if I have an apple at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be naturally hungry again in a couple of hours around dinner time or family supper time, right? Whereas if I chow down on a whole bag of pretzels at 3 o'clock, you know, probably I'm going to feel bad a couple hours later. Who knows if I'm going to be hungry or not?
Right.
You know, so
well,
I got that.
a factor there is that the pretzels are more addicting, so you're more likely to eat more because it's a complex carbohydrate. So it's going to go quickly into the bloodstream. You're going to get the burst of energy. They're going to want to eat so much of it. But the key is that these kids sit down to the dinner table hungry. They
right.
have to be hungry.
I forgot we're talking about kids. Yeah, I'm the pretzel addict. So sorry, that's why I went there. But yeah. Right. Okay.
No
so kids. So what I also heard in what you laid out for us is I include my children at the market, the farmer's market, ideally, seasonal foods, whole foods. I include them there where they're choosing with me. We play the rainbow game, and then at home, you know what I heard inside of what you were suggesting about, you know, how to have them participate in losing weight and us being healthy in this food together is like, you know, I'm creating an occasion where I'm going to teach my child how to handle the food, how to clean the food, how to prepare the food, how to cut the food, you know, and it's a natural part of the process of, you know, they're helping to take care of the house. So I'm a man about it, right? I'm a dad about it. Like, you know, why should mom and dad have to be the only ones taking care of the house? You know, the kids should learn some discipline and some way to, you know, live in the world. I mean, I got to admit, I've never been a strict parent in that regard, but, you know, I do feel strongly like I want my kids to be able to take care of themselves later and to be part of the family now. Yeah. So they're going to help prepare the food. And then, like you suggested, you know, top it all off with, in some of these foods, we're going to turn it into dessert.
Right, whole food. So of course these rugrats are going to want their dessert, and sometimes they get angry and in really bad moods if they don't get their dessert. So you know, you want to ideally give them fruit. This is when you're on a regimen with them. You know, we always have our holidays, and they're going to go over friends' houses, and they're going to have all these parties. We're not talking about those days. We're talking about the regular routine, you know, school days, those days, okay? Because we can't be extreme.
You mean I can't say, like, when you go out of the house, you're forbidden to eat pizza, and if a friend's mom hands you an ice cream cone, I want you to throw the ice cream cone to the ground. That's going too far.
I would like my kids to do that, but
but let's be realistic. Okay, got it.
Yeah, let's be realistic.
I got it. If we keep, you know, the garbage out of the house, at least they know they're coming home to something healthy.
That's the first step, and you just need to get tough with them because, you know, you have. Let's get realistic here.
Okay, so you're a mom.
Yeah.
And I'm an achievement coach. So when you say get tough, this will be interesting. Let's hear what it means when Mom Lucy says she's going to get tough versus how I would coach somebody how to be firm with their kids.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay.
So you're going to get
let's
tough.
play this out. Okay. The kid, my son, says, "Mom, what's for dessert?" "Well, we have strawberries with honey drizzled on top." "That's not dessert. What do we have?" "I want ice cream." And I'll say, "No, tough. There's no ice cream tonight. You know, we're making some changes. If the parents want, what's the saying there? You know, drastic results call for drastic measures, right? So if you really want to see some real results, you got to make some real changes.
So when you said get tough, I heard you just say no and be firm.
No, it's tough. I said tough.
No, and then I heard you say
tough. No ice cream.
Actually, it's not. You said no, and I don't think you said that's tough. I don't think that's
okay.
You said no.
I said no. There's no more ice cream. You know, we're going to make some changes, and you will live. You know, you can have something sweet. Definitely, they can have sweet things. You can make a homemade butterscotch pudding. It's beyond delicious.
Okay, so you will tell us how to make homemade butterscotch pudding in another video.
Yes, yeah. I think a lot of these topics for for another
Yeah,
video. because
this is sort of a master conversation, and we've got a lot of, great ideas we can pull out, elaborate on in future conversations.
There's so many, but
So I do want to say though that so I heard, say no as a parent, right? You like to say no when you have to, when it's important. And what I'll also suggest is, I saw in what you shared here an opportunity to remind my daughter that you were at the market with me. You chose the strawberries. That was one of the, you could have chosen anything red, and you chose the strawberries. So don't you want to try what you chose, right? So I get it. Sometimes kids are coming at you, and don't get me wrong. Not like my kids don't come at me.
That advice is fantastic, but age, depending on the age.
Sure.
However, depending on their age, they're going to respond differently.
Well,
so
all kids' personalities are different.
And the children's personalities are different. So it's hard for me to give any real advice across the board.
Sure.
I just know what I would do, what works for my kid, and just getting tough. No, we're having strawberries.
Of our
if you
three
don't want to
daughters,
eat it.
we've got 3 different personalities.
Right.
And we've got one, where, well, right, they all have different personalities, and we all do. And, one of them, it's almost like it's unfair to her, but I walk in the door expecting I'm going to have to say no, right? The other one I know is going to be negotiation, and the other one I know is just going to do whatever we ask her to do.
Yeah.
So I get it, and we're prepared to say no when we have to say no. And again, if I've included them along the way, I think your initial idea of including them at the grocery store playing the rainbow game is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So thank you, Lucy. To find out more about Lucy and to get Lucy's holistic nutrition consultation, you can contact her at lucydelcampo.com. That will also land you at the Healthy Kids, Healthy Families Facebook page. You can, of course, get in touch with us, through the comments section of this video. Please do us a favor, like the video, share the video. Spread the wealth of the knowledge that we offer. Again, I am Achievement Coach Greg Kilgore. I offer great Future Now coaching. And here where we happen to be today in Longwood, Florida, we're at the Serenity Now the Serenity Now Yoga and Dance Studio, which is a holistic wellness and health center. Thank you for tuning in.